Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is quite a few topics to delve into. So I am going to be giving you the latest news on Kai Havertz, then I am going to be giving you some more additional information on Chris Smalling, and there'll be more things to talk about a bit later on in the video. So let me talk with you now about Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. So I think, from my own perception, Kai Havertz would be a perfect signing for Manchester United. I don't think Manchester United will sign him in the summer transfer window, but, I'd love him to come to Manchester United if the opportunity was there. Now, recent reports have said, have expressed an interest in Kai Havertz. Obviously, Liverpool have been long admirers of him. I think, Chelsea expressed their interest. There's been a few clubs that have been in anyway for Kai Havertz. Now, don't forget, Kai Havertz scored twice on yesterday in Bayer Leverkusen's 3-1 win against Borussia Mönchengladbach. He also scored twice the other week in Bayer Leverkusen's 4-1 win against Werder Bremen. So Kai Havertz is a prolific goal scorer. Kai Havertz is only at the age of 20. He can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winger. Now, obviously, up until this point, Kai Havertz has spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen. I think he was in their youth academy for quite a while, and he has been in Bayer Leverkusen's senior squad, is it since 2016 or 2017. But since then, he has become an integral part of their team. I think Kai Havertz has got a contract with Leverkusen until 2022. Don't forget, Kai Havertz became the youngest player to make a milestone of 50 and 100 appearances in the Bundesliga. Also became the youngest debutant in the Bundesliga. I think, Bayer Leverkusen have said they do want around £90 million at least if they are to let Kai Havertz go in the summer transfer window. Maybe it could cost £100 million or maybe even more than £100 million. But do let me know in the comments below, would you take Kai Havertz at Manchester United? I think he has made over 100 appearances in the Bundesliga. Has he scored around 30 odd goals, something like that? But yeah, he is one player on our agenda. So that is the latest news on Kai Havertz. Now, let's give you the news on Chris Smalling. I spoke with you guys about Chris Smalling yesterday. So I'll reiterate some of the stuff that I did mention yesterday regarding Chris Smalling. So obviously, Paulo Finesca, who's a Roma boss, he has confirmed that Chris Smalling does want to stay at Roma. And Roma, of course, are looking to get Chris Smalling on a permanent transfer. Now, Paulo Finesca was talking a lot about Smalling. I think it was a while ago now, was it like 3 or 4 weeks ago? And he was talking about how professional Chris Smalling is and how amazing he has been since he joined Roma on loan last summer. But Roma are definitely looking to get him on a permanent transfer and that. And Chris Smalling, did recently reveal that he does not regret leaving Manchester United. He does not regret this, and he is really, really proud to represent Roma. So we said at the first we wanted in the £20 million range for Chris Smalling. But now, according to recent reports, I think this is stemming from an Italian source saying that we've lowered Chris Smalling's asking price and we're willing to sell him for maybe around 16 or 17 million pounds. Well, they actually mentioned in the article that would want around 18 million euros for him or something like that. Don't forget Chris Smalling did endure 9 years at Manchester United, so he was a very, very long-serving player. We did recommend Chris Smalling in under the Alex Ferguson era, because we got him from Fulham in 2010. I think, we did pay a couple of £1 million for him. Analysing Chris Smalling's 9 years at the football club, I thought he enjoyed some good games, but he also enjoyed some bad games, did Chris Smalling. I think he made, was it over 300 appearances for the club in all competitions. There was rumours earlier on in the season saying that Chris Smalling could actually, go back to the Premier League because it's mentioned like Arsenal and that would in for him, but, we won't take him back at Man United, definitely not. I think Chris Smalling's contract, he's got a contract with us as well until 2022. But he's been playing persistently for Roma since his arrival. So yeah, we've lowered our asking price for Smalling, so I think we'll find it a bit easier now to get rid of him on a permanent transfer, because I think maybe Roma had strong reservations about paying 25 million for Smalling. So now we've lowered our asking price, maybe, Roma are willing to pay this and that. But don't forget, a lot of clubs are under financial difficulty with the coronavirus pandemic. So that is the latest news on that. I should have mentioned this at the start of the video, but I'm going to give you some latest news on Paul Pogba, by the way. And this is stemming from The Sun. And I know The Sun doesn't tend to be a reliable source and that, but they've reportedly said that Inter Milan have rejected an offer from Manchester United involving a swap deal with Paul Pogba and Milan Skriniar. This is what it has reportedly said. Now, I give you the news regarding Milan Skriniar the other week, didn't I, on one of my videos? Because it said from the Daily Mirror that Manchester United were interested in Milan Skriniar. It also mentioned a few clubs were interested in Milan Skriniar. Don't forget we've inquired about his availability before. It did say, that Inter Milan are looking to get around 52.5 million for him if they are to sell the player. And that. Milan Skriniar, of course, is a centre-half, and there's still some reports emerging out saying that Man United do want to recommend a centre-half in. Now, I think this has been Milan Skriniar's third season with Inter Milan. I think he's played a good 118 games for them in all competitions. I think he's got a contract with Inter Milan until 2023 as Milan Skriniar. Inter Milan, I think, did pay around £30 million for him from Sampdoria back in 16 or 17. So that made him the most expensive Slovakian player in history. And that, don't forget, he got named the best under-21 Slovakian player in 2016, did Milan Skriniar in that. Don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you, but Inter Milan said a couple of weeks ago now, was it, that they wanted in the £50 million range if they were to offload the player. He is only very, very, very young, Milan Skriniar. I think he is in his early 20s and that. So there you go. So reportedly, we've put a offer into Inter Milan. We've often Paul Pogba for Milan Skriniar, but reportedly Inter Milan have turned this swap offer down. Now, obviously, news on Paul Pogba is that we know there's a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the football club. And since Paul Pogba rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, there's been a lot of narratives of him, going to Real Madrid. Don't forget, Paul Pogba was relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid last summer. But the main explanation why Pogba's move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted £180 million. But Paul Pogba's preference last summer was to make a move to Real Madrid, because he actually was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about his plans of playing under Zinedine Zidane and stuff like that. But he said last summer, Paul Pogba, that he was seeking for a new challenge, even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. There's still some reports now as we speak saying that Real Madrid is still looking to get him in, because he did say the other week that Real Madrid have dropped their interest in Pogba due to his wages and that. Obviously, there's been a lot of narratives of him, going back to Juventus, because like I mentioned, Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. But the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin and that. And don't forget, we paid £89 million for Paul Pogba. He is our most expensive signing at the moment. I said to you, didn't I, if, we was to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window, I think he would make a return to Juventus. And don't forget, swap deals have been on the agenda. Obviously, in recent weeks, there's been talks of Adrian Rabiot coming in as part of a swap deal of Pogba going to Juventus. There's been a lot of talks about Aaron Ramsey, Miralem Pjanic, Douglas Costa. There's also been talks of, Federico Bernardeschi. Matty Salic, was also mentioned. Was it last month or something like that as well? And I said, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. Like I said, Inter Milan have been in for Pogba in recent weeks, but I'm very, very sceptical that he will go to Inter Milan. Don't forget, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players. Don't forget they got Ashley Young offers this year after Ashley Young endured 8.5 years at Manchester United. They also got Romelu Lukaku offers last summer. And of course, they got Alexis Sanchez on loan, did Inter Milan. So there you go. It may be said, Antonio Conte is keen on reuniting with Pogba. Like I said, PSG have been in for him in recent weeks. I think for PSG to get Pogba, they'd either have to offload Mbappe or Neymar, who had 2 most expensive players in the world. And Barcelona have also been in for Paul Pogba before. So like I mentioned, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, Paul Pogba can leave on a free at the end of the season. If we do not trigger that 1-year extension on his contract, because it stands at the moment, Pogba's got a year left in his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it by a further year and that. So there you go. Now, me personally speaking, I think Paul Pogba's going to stay at Manchester United for next season. I'm not sure about the foreseeable future, but I think he'll be here for next season. I'm very, very excited about the prospects of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because they'll complement each other fantastically well, and Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes have not yet had the chance to play together in our midfield and that, So there you go. Like I said, Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last game he did play was our 4-1 win against Newcastle on Boxing Day. The last time he started from the start was back in September. But there you go. But the good news is now regarding Pogba, he has recovered from injury because, he has been stepping up his fitness regime. Don't forget, before the football season got suspended anyway, Paul Pogba was close to full fitness because, he had one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick. And before we returned to training last week, I think it was the other week, Paul Pogba was at a Cheshire Cricket Club with Lindelof, Anthony Martial and Andrews Pereira and that. So there you go. I think the best we have seen of Paul Pogba at Man United was in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager and that, because he put a lot of good performances out. Let's pinpoint out Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But, a lot of the top players endured difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era because, Mourinho's got a bad reputation with top players. Don't forget as well, we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger. But obviously, we had to let him go due to limited appearances. And, we had Ferguson at the time when we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger. Paul Pogba is 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Like I said, Paul Pogba has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at Manchester United. And like I said, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, he recently said he's, been in negotiations with Juventus. He's also held some talks with Real Madrid as Mini Raiola, because Mini Raiola has been talking a lot since the turn of the year. And, reflect on some of the comments Mini Raiola said. We have been very, very critical of him. But yeah, I think Paul Pogba's staying, and obviously, revert back before the football season was suspended. Obviously, you had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming out saying, that Paul Pogba will remain at Manchester United next season. And that was prior to the last game. It was before the last game, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had said this and that. But Solskjaer, knows Paul Pogba really, really well. Like I said, Solskjaer, managed the Man United reserve team from 2008 to 2010. And he watched some of this team at this day and age grow and develop. One of them was Pogba. He also watched Jesse Lingard grow and develop as well. So, there you go. So, that is, the news on Paul Pogba and Milan Skriniar and that. But I do expect, Manchester United to get rid of around 7 players in the summer transfer window. Maybe 6 or 7, something like that. I think, we're definitely not going to get rid of Phil Jones. Obviously, Phil Jones has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United, but, Phil Jones doesn't even really get in the team. Let's be honest, we did get him from Blackburn. Was it back in 2011 or 2012? Diego Dalot could also possibly leave the football club as well, because recent reports have said that Barcelona and PSG have been in for Dalot, but Solskjaer said, he's determined to keep Dalot. Dalot's appearances have been limited at the football club this season. I think he's only played a couple of times as Diego Dalot. Well, in fact, I think he's only made one start in the Premier League due to his injuries and that. Diego Dalot. Lingard and Pereira, I think they'll also leave the football club as well, because, they've been very, very inconsistent. Alexis Sanchez, he'll probably now go back out on loan, because we'll find it very, very difficult to get rid of him permanently. Reflecting on his substantial wages, Alexis Sanchez, like I said, Smalling and Rojo will go on permanent transfers. I think we are loaning James Garner out, by the way. Like I said, we've got a few players out on loan. I heard that we're going to be loaning Dylan Levitt out as well. I expect Angel Gomez to leave the club, because there's no signs of Angel Gomez signing a new contract at Manchester United. No signs at all. And we have put forward quite a few contract offers for Angel Gomez. So yeah, players are definitely going to depart the football club in the summer transfer window. But to be fair, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the dead wood since he got recommended into the football club. I think a total of 19 players have departed the football club since Solskjaer came in. I think around 8 or 9 of them are senior players, and I think the other 9 or 10, are obviously, young players that have been offloaded in that. So there you go. So that is the news on all of that. Like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty in the summer. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the summer transfer window and that. Who are we going to sign in the summer transfer window? Now, like I've said to you, there is a lot of players on our agenda. Don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been given words in private of our transfers. And reportedly, we've told Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that, we're going to find it difficult to give him an official transfer budget, because, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the summer transfer window. Don't forget, it did confirm on Thursday that Ed Woodward, like I've mentioned on my recent videos, Ed Woodward had spoken to investors on a conference call. And as you all know, he had revealed our latest financial figures. And our debt has risen up by around 130 million. So our net debt now in total is around 429 million. Don't forget, the coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million, but we do expect the final figure to be far higher than that. So there you go. And that. And I think Ed Woodward also mentioned on the statement that he's optimistic that the season will return in June. But Ed Woodward also revealed that the coronavirus pandemic is one of the hardest moments in Manchester United's 142-year history in that. But don't forget, Ed Woodward came out last month, and he insists, we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So in that aspect, he ruled out big transfers to Manchester United, and he insists, we won't spend hundreds of millions of pounds on players and that. This is what Ed Woodward said. But Ed Woodward also mentioned that we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market. Ed Woodward's already confirmed a few times throughout the course of this season he's willing to back Solskjaer. He's also assured quite a few times that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe at the football club, even though we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. Because maybe Ed Woodward does believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for the football club. But even Solskjaer made the admission, saying that, we're going to enjoy a different transfer window, to the recent ones, that we have enjoyed and that. Because to be quite fair, I think, we have really, really improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. We have been more sensible with our recruitment, and Solskjaer, has recommended the players, that he wanted to recommend into the football club, because so far Solskjaer has recommended 5 good players into the club. Last summer he recommended Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. That's who he recommended into the football club. And they've all been very, very impressive. Solskjaer has made 5 signings, 4 permanent signings, and of course he got, Odion Ighalo in on loan and that. But, them 5 players he brought in have been very, very impressive in that. So far Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the club. Of course, the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager, and it will be 2nd summer transfer window at the football club and that. It will be 2nd summer transfer window at the football club. And, Solskjaer has already confirmed that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. Like I said, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United like he did do last summer and that. But like I said to didn't I, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the football club. Because, this has been his first full season at the moment. And he has, been at the football club now for around 17 months. So he has been here over the year. But, he does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows, because Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Don't forget, he's inheriting the vast majority of the players that Jose Mourinho brought in, because the vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. Also, too, there's still a couple of players even from the Van Gaal era, but the vast majority of the players that were brought in under Van Gaal have now gone. There's still Mario, of course, from the David Moyes era and that. And I think there's still a couple of players even from the Ferguson era. By the way, the vast majority of the players that we had under Ferguson, of course, have now departed the football club. I think it was Louis Van Gaal that got rid of a lot of the players that we had under Alex Ferguson now. So Solskjaer, does need time to build a team. But earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked. And at that point, there was talks of obviously Mauricio Pochettino coming to the football club. Obviously there was a lot of talks about Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Don't forget there was talks of Pochettino coming in before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the job on a permanent basis at Manchester United and that. So there you go. But I'm hopeful that we can get our 21st title under Solskjaer. By the way, this is the 7th season now, we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. And like I said to we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. I'll go through some of the mistakes we've made. I think there's players you can say that we've brought in. And that who we shouldn't have let go. You can maybe say, we made a mistake by giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently, but I think, we give the Solskjaer the job permanently, reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Maybe there's players who we've given contracts to who we shouldn't have given contracts to. You can definitely say, Alex Ferguson ever made a mistake by recommending David Moyes and stuff like that. So we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years or so. But in the last 6 or 7 years, we've had, different managers with different philosophies. Like I said, we have spent close to the £1 billion range on, recruiting, players in. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson era. Like I said, when we had Moyes, he only recruited 2 players in, he brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Like I said, Fellaini's no longer here now. Fellaini was the first player to depart the club under the Solskjaer era. Obviously, Van Gaal, he brought players like Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Daley Blind and all of that. under Herrera. So Louis van Gaal brought a lot of players into the football club. And like I said, Mourinho recommended 11 players into Manchester United and that. So there you go. But like I've said to you, before the football season got suspended, we was in a good vein of form because don't forget we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, and Solskjaer will be under pressure to keep this good run of form up, when the football season does resume. Like I said, the season is supposedly resuming next month, which is very, very good news. Like I've said to you, there's been some narratives saying that the season's going to resume on the 19th of June. Some have said the 18th of June, and some have said the 12th of June. It all depends on the fitness levels. The Premier League has been suspended since the 13th of March, so it has been suspended now for a good 9 or 10 weeks or something like that. So yeah, like I said, the first Premier League game back is going to be Tottenham and Manchester United, and like I've said to you, it's going to be live on Friday Night Football and that. So really, going to be really, really looking forward to the Tottenham Man United game because we are looking to beat, Solskjaer is looking to beat Jose Mourinho for the second time as a manager, and it'd be good to, for Jose Mourinho to reunite with Man United. Solskjaer has beaten Tottenham twice as a manager so far, so we'll be looking to beat Tottenham for the third time. But yeah, can't wait for that game. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. But it's good, that the football season is coming back. Like I said, we've named the 29-man squad for when the season restarts. We've named the 29-man squad. We have got a fully fit squad, like Solskjaer, did confirm a couple of weeks ago that we've got a fully fit squad. Don't forget, we did return to training last Wednesday, but a lot of clubs up and down the country have recently returned to training because the Premier League did confirm on a statement last Monday that, clubs had voted to return to smaller training groups. So yeah, I said at that time, didn't I? This is a step forward to resuming the season. Don't forget the Bundesliga, return the other week. Like I said, I think the La Liga is supposedly resuming on the 8th of June and that. So it's good, that the football season is resuming. By the way, there is 92 games to play in all competitions and that. But like I said, we've got things to look forward to. Obviously, the FA Cup, the Europa League, that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer because obviously, we're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup and we're into the last 8 of the Europa League. And if we can get some silverware under Solskjaer, then, it will be a memorable first full season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. So let's just put that into the equation. Let's put into the equation as well, we are chasing the top 4. We're sitting fifth at the moment in the Premier League and we are only 3 points behind Chelsea. And obviously it did say, if we get qualification for the Champions League, then, I think we'd get a £50 million boost on our finances. So obviously, that's very, very good news. Like I said, there's decisions we've got to make before the Premier League season resumes and that. Like I said, we've got to make a decision on Odi Ighalo's future, Pogba's future, Diego Dalot's future, like I've already mentioned. Angel Gomez's future. Maybe... Yeah, like I said, Solskjaer needs to work out his best 11. Maybe Solskjaer also needs to work out his best formation and that because he has been changing formation persistently this season. But, we will see what happens in that. We will see what happens. But, yeah, and there's 9 games to go in the Premier League season. 9 games to, go in the Premier League season, yeah. And obviously, this morning, I give you the news on Jadon Sancho. Now the news on Jadon Sancho. Don't need to go over it again. As you all know, Jadon Sancho is our number 1 priority target. You obviously know the news on Jude Bellingham already. He's another one of our priority targets. The news on Jack Grealish. On my recent video, which is still uploading by the way, I was talking with you about Timo Werner from RP Leipzig. Owen Hargreaves does believe that he should come to Man United instead of Liverpool. Timo Werner, by the way, did score a hat-trick today for Leipzig in Leipzig's 5-0 win against Mainz 05. Just proves how good, Timo Werner is. I think, Werner's had a couple of meetings with Jurgen Klopp. I was reading reports and it did say that Liverpool are planning to sign Timo Werner next summer instead of this summer. Timo Werner has got around a £52 million release clause in his RP Leipzig contract and that. But I'd definitely take him at Manchester United. I really, really would. David Ornstein was talking about Werner the other week, saying that he'd only leave Leipzig to join Liverpool. But there again, he said Liverpool may not make any signings in the summer transfer window. And that. But yeah, he's had talks with Jurgen Klopp as Werner. Don't forget Werner did say back in February that, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager in the world and that. But I think he'd be perfect for Man United, if he was to come in. He's a cheap solution, is Timo Werner. But I just don't think he's got any interest in coming to us, and, that is the problem in that. But yeah, hopefully, we can get the right players into Man United this summer that can elevate us forward and that. So there you go. The good news is now, like I said, Rashford's also back from injury. Because obviously, Rashford was out with a back injury, but he is now back. And like I said, Rashford was one of our best players earlier on in the season. So there you go. Like I said, I've taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure so far. Like I said, he's promoted the youth very, very well. Our record against the big six sides this season has been very, very good. We haven't really replicated that against lower opposition, And I've taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure, I really, really have. My element of concerns about Solskjaer is that he's inexperienced as a manager, because Man United is the third club he's managing in his managerial career. But, the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to gain more managerial experience, because before he was at us, he was at Molde, won a couple of Norwegian titles with them, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and he enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because, he did get Cardiff relegated and that, So that's my reservation about Solskjaer. And, he doesn't really seem to have a plan A or plan B, in the games against lower opposition. We've dropped far too many points, throughout the course of this season. And we've lost quite a few games. And I think we've also drawn, a lot of games as well. So there you go. Like I said to you before, there's players, that we have missed out on over the years who, in reality, Manchester United should have signed. Like I said, we should have got Perisic and Griezmann under the Jose Mourinho era. I think there's players under the David Moyes era who we should have got. I think, there's players under the Alex Ferguson era who we should have also got as well. But we have been criticised in the last 6 or 7 years, of how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised for overpaying for players as well. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.